Very moving. Rayna Exelbierd is the granddaughter of Holocaust survivors. Through her organization, The Rose Grows, she has addressed over 250,000 people to preserve their memory, combat anti-Semitism, and promote kindness. Please welcome Rayna.
I stand before you today in memory of my grandparents who were Holocaust survivors from Tarnopol, Poland, Joseph and Rachel Exelbierd. And I stand before you in memory of their children, my father, Alan Exelbierd, and his older brother, Felix Exelbierd. For me, growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, Holocaust very much represented family. At a young age, watching my dad light a candle each year and lead Holocaust education and awareness in the state of Tennessee. My mother's side has been in Memphis for about 4 generations, so you can imagine on my mother's side I had a very large family. But on my father's side, my family was always an extended network of Holocaust survivors. My grandparents were in their 20s when the Holocaust happened, so I never got the opportunity to have those conversations with them about their life and their experiences beyond what they wrote down and what family members happened to record. And as I got older, I realized, in addition to it being about family, that as a family, it was our responsibility to educate and bring awareness to what's going on. But I don't need to be the one to tell you that there will be a day when there won't be survivors to share their stories. And there's only so many descendants who can go to a classroom, or who can make a post, or who can go to a school. So as an adult, I realized the Holocaust is actually a humanity issue. What do you do in a world where well-intentioned good people ignore hatred? It happened during the Holocaust, and it's happening today. And our only weapon to eradicate ignorance is education, but most importantly, it's gratitude. When I thought about this speech and Yom HaShoah and all the programs I've been to over 33 years, mourning those who lost their lives, I realized this week at 33 years old, I want to reframe that narrative that Yom HaShoah is for those who didn't get the chance to live. In my 20s at FAU, when I started experiencing anti-Semitism for the first time, I couldn't believe it. And it was actually at this podium in this synagogue at 19 years old where I made the first speech about what was happening there. And a lot of people said, oh, you're being extreme, you're blowing it out of proportion. Well, look at what is happening at college campuses all over the country. When we do not speak out against hate, those words turn into hateful actions. Telling Jewish people they can't serve in a college leadership position. Telling students that they can't study in their library. We need to speak up. In my 20s, living in South Florida, we have a very large community of Holocaust survivors. And for many of them, even though I have met them at the tail ends of their lives, having you as my family, as long as I've lived in Florida, has transformed my life, but has also made me feel close to my grandparents. I think part of the reason why I spend so much time with survivors is because it gives me the opportunity to ask the questions. A couple weeks ago, I went to Lakeland. I went to visit a survivor named Genya Cutner. She used to live in this community. She was very active in the club. And me, Genya, and her boyfriend Jerry used to speak in a lot of schools. And I said to Genya, I'm going to be speaking on Yom HaShoah. What should I say? She said, Ramla, I don't remember anything about the Holocaust. You'll know what to say. I know Genya has had nightmares for many years. So I said, do you sleep better at night? She said, yes. While it warms my heart to know that she's sleeping better at night, I am awake and uncomfortable with everything that's going on in the world. Last night, Anya and I addressed a group of Jewish teenagers, and we asked them before she spoke, can you list 5 things that you are grateful for from the last 24 hours? And if you can believe it, some of the teens found the exercise difficult. Many of the teens said, I can't think of more than 3 things. But after hearing Anya's story, all of a sudden you realize having your own bed, having your own bedroom, having a bathroom in your house, having the opportunity to get an education, even if you're not a straight A student, the fact that you can read and write in English. I say gratitude and education are our way to eradicate this hatred, because we live in a time where we take for granted so many things. And the way that we continue is through life. The last story I want to share is that Genya's boyfriend Jerry had a tattoo on his arm. It said 127,000. That was his number, which became his name. And I remember he said to me one day, Rayna, when the Holocaust ended, that's not what brought me any emotion or joy. He said, but later on, when both of my children were born the same date as my number, 12/7, he said that was the day that he defeated Hitler. For generations, there has been hate. But we must work together to speak up and go beyond our community to build bridges, because there is unity in our diversity, and we cannot do it alone, and we will not do it alone. We will live We will continue to tell the stories. And most importantly, for all of my friends who have survived so much and thrived throughout your lifetime, my life is dedicated to this, and I will never forget. And as long as I am healthy and am well, I will continue to share the stories and empower other people to tell their network the stories. Because through kindness and conversation, this is how we change the future. We must teach the children first to lead with kindness. There were brilliant people that the Nazis people took over and used to create harm. We need to be that bridge. We need to teach the children that it starts with kindness, and if you learn kindness, then you can be successful at anything that you choose. Thank you very much.
Some very moving stories today, but what I get out of this is hope for the future.